One of the ways that real estate investors and real estate professionals find motivated seller leads and make a ton of money is through cold calling. Maybe you're wanting to use a strategy to increase leads, or maybe even you're just trying to get started in this world of real estate and real estate investing. Maybe you're completely terrified to pick up that phone and handle the rejection, right? And have some crazy person, like this crazy lady you're about to hear, yell at you and tell you never to contact them again.
Yeah, this is Mary at 3397 South Island Way in West Valley City. I think you're a piece of shit, and I want you to stop bothering me with these freaking postcards saying you want to buy my house. If I want to sell my house, I will sell my house to someone who needs it.
I need it.
Not you, you piece of shit. I hope you eat shit and die.
Eat shit and die. I don't want you to be worried. I don't want you to have fear. In this video, we're going to be going through the script, what to say, how to handle the rejection, and how to know that you're on the right path to making money in this business using cold calling. I'm going to give you my exact script. I'm going to give you the script that has made me hundreds of thousands of dollars year after year after year. So in this video, you're going to get a ton of value. Let's dive in. If you do not want to fail miserably in your real estate business, make sure you subscribe right now. Also, to not miss out on videos that could put millions of dollars
$1 million
in your real estate business, make sure you hit that bell icon to not miss any of them. Hey everyone, my name is Zack Boothe, and I used to be a broke window cleaner. I felt super stuck, and I found and learned that real estate investing, and more specifically, real estate wholesaling, was the key to change all of that for myself and my family. I wanted to give a better life to my family and have wonderful adventures, and real estate has done that for me. I want to know from you guys, why are you here? What do you want to get into real estate investing for? Why are you learning and growing? Like, why do you want to be in real estate investing? Let me know in the comments. When I first heard about cold calling, I saw the potential of being able to find these motivated sellers. I actually hired a coach and paid him $5,000 to teach me how to use a dialing platform so I could call 3 people at one time and to give me the script and know what to say and how to take advantage of it. Totally worth the investment. It's a little crazy that I paid that much. You know, knowing what I know now, it's really not that complicated, and I'm going to show you in this video. But in the first 11 minutes, I was 11 minutes on the dialer. There's a time clicking there, right? 11 minutes in, I got a hold of a gal named Linda. And Linda was at the rental property that she owned. The tenants had broke all the skylights in the house, so all the rainwater had come in. The sheetrock was falling down in the kitchen. The house was a mess, and she was ticked off. She says, I don't care, I'm done. I just want to be done with this property. I threw down my computer and ran out the door and met her. I signed the purchase contract within an hour after calling her the first time. Within 7 days later, I had the deal gone. I sold the rights to the contract. I wholesaled the property, 0 risk, 0 debt, and I made $9,000 from 11 minutes of cold calling, right? That's not a normal number. It usually takes much, much more time than that to do a deal, but I was hooked, right? I was like, all right, I'm gonna do more of this. I'm gonna get good at this, and I'm gonna make a lot of money. So throughout this video, I'm gonna give you the exact scripts and the exact things that I've learned that has put hundreds of thousands of dollars in my pocket year over year. I'm gonna give it all to you guys for free. You don't have to pay me for this. I'm gonna give it all free. So here we go. Here is the script of cold calling and exactly what we do and how we do it. So the first thing you're gonna wanna have is a cold calling platform. So yes, you can pick up your phone and call people and plug it in and call them, right? That's fine, but it's gonna take you forever, right? Because you're gonna have to sit there and wait for it to ring to get a hold of people. There is something called a triple line dialer or a automated dialer. Okay, so imagine you have a phone that's plugging in the numbers and dialing for you. And imagine if you're calling 3 people at one time. You're gonna talk to 100 times more people in the same amount of time. Right, let's say you dial for 10 hours, you're gonna get a hold of way more people than you would have if you just did it by hand, one person at a time. So there's lots of different options out there, okay? There's batch dialer, there's all sorts of different products. The one that I like, that I prefer, that I've used for years is called mojosells.com. This is the homepage. Go in and sign up for it. The cool part is you can call 3 people at one time. This might sound complicated and confusing, but it's gonna be very simple. As you can see from this B-roll here, this is me cold calling on the 40-day challenge. It's gonna pop up all of the people that you're calling, and then when someone answers, it'll pick it up and you'll be able to talk to them. It's gonna pull up a screen with their name, a link to Zillow, so you can pull up the information on the house and just roll with the conversation. If you're on the phone with someone else and the other, and the line's dialing and someone answers, you can set up a voice recording, and mine says, hello, I'm gonna have to call you back, and then it hangs up on them, right? And then as soon as you get off the conversation with that person, it immediately calls back that person that had answered. And you go, hey, I'm sorry about that issue with the phone, right? And then you go into the conversation. So you can quickly just go through a ton of phone numbers and get a hold of as many people as possible. So it's very essential to have a dialing platform, and they have lots of tutorial videos and support and customer support to help set those up. My students get exact setup step by step that I give them in my program, but they're not too complicated to figure out if you want to figure them out on your own. So if you guys are familiar with my YouTube channel, I did the 40-day challenge. Day 2, you can also go to my playlist on my YouTube challenge. Day 2, I talk a lot about the Mojo platform and cold calling and what I do and what I'm doing. So you can learn more there on day 2. Day 4, and I'll talk about day 4 as well, is where I actually put this in place. And I produced 3 leads that turned into 5 contracts, put over $100,000 in my pocket. So lots of great content we'll refer to. We'll also put it in the show notes, but stick with me as we go through these steps. Once you have your triple line dialer picked out, you're gonna need a list to upload to Cold Call, right? So my preferred list is driving for dollars. I'm gonna link another video that we put together that shows you how to build that list, how to use Deal Machine to build your driving for dollars list. It's gonna be your most profitable list. It's gonna be the best list so you can cold call. All right, now the good stuff, the script. Let's say you dial through, someone answers the phone. Let me give you a tip. Get right to the point. People don't care who you are, what business you're from, are you registered with a Better Business Bureau, are you licensed and insured? No one cares, right? Until they want to do business with you, then they'll want to know more. But they want to know why you're calling. The faster you can get to the point, the more leads you'll produce. So my exact script is, when someone answers, you say, hey, I am trying to get a hold of the owner at XYZ address. I may have the wrong number. And they're gonna say, yeah, who is this? What's this about? You say, yeah, my name's Zack. It's completely out of the blue, I know. I was just wondering if you thought of selling or if you'd consider an offer on it, right? And they'll say, oh, no, it's a bad number. Or they'll say, yeah, I own it. And then they'll give you an answer of yes or no. The rest of this, I'm gonna go into the responses you're gonna get from that initial question and how to respond to each of them. Whether they're a complete, no, I'm not interested, leave me alone, to tire kickers that are just curious but not actually interested in selling. And then the yes, I do want to sell, and how to navigate that and identify if they do want to sell and or how much they want to sell it for. Do they want to list it with an agent and squeeze out as much as possible? Do they want to sell it to an investor? Do they want speed and convenience over price? I'm going to teach you how to dive into that conversation. All right, everybody, before we go into the rest of this script, I want you to do me a quick favor and pay for admission to this video by hitting that like button right now. You can do it.
You can do it!
So you're gonna get a lot of no's. The majority of the people are gonna say, no, I don't wanna sell. It's gonna be super simple, the script there, right? You're gonna get really good at that one. You're gonna say, great, that's just fine. Do you think you'd wanna sell in their near future, or do you have any other properties you would like to sell at this time, right? Most of the time they'll say no. Every once in a while, you'll get a deal. On the 40-day challenge, you hear me say, do you have any other properties you'd like to sell? And I ended up with 3 contracts from one seller because of that one question right there. So the tire kickers, you're gonna get responses like, well, everything's for sale at the right price. Or they're gonna go directly into, okay, yeah, how much can you offer me, right? They're gonna want to know the number immediately. Usually those are your tire kickers. Those are the 2 responses. They're people that actually don't want to sell. They're just grumpy. They're just trying to annoy you. They're curious what their house is worth. Couple different variations, right? They don't respect their own time enough, so they're not going to respect your time. And if you spend too much time with tire kickers, it's going to be less time on the dialer finding that person that actually wants to sell their house. So if they say everything's for sale at the right price, usually I just say, well, I'm an investor. I'm trying to find something that I can add value and make some money. But it sounds like you'd want full price, if not more, sell it for more than it's really worth, right? Right. I label what I think that they're wanting, which is to waste my time. Right? But that's how I say it. And they usually go, yeah, I'm not interested. You hang up, go to the next one, right? The next response is, well, how much can you pay for it? You can't make an offer unless you know the condition, right? And so you got to tell them that. You say, okay, Mr. Seller, I'd love to get you an offer, but I don't know much about the house except what's online here. Can you tell me about the condition of the house? Most of the time, the people that give that response are like, well, you called me, you better make me an offer. Or, hey, if you don't even know, I'm not even interested in selling. They weren't interested in the first place. They were just curious what you would offer. So you say, well, I can't really make an offer unless I know the condition. We are investors. We're trying to find something that we can buy, add value, and make a profit. Have you been wanting to sell it long? Right? Just dive right back into, do they really want to sell it? Most of the time, they'll just not be interested, lose their patience, hang up on you, or whatever it might be. 99% of the time, if they go straight to the number, they're not interested in selling it. Think about it. If they really do want to sell the house, you're going to call them and be like, hey, do you want to sell the house? Be like, oh yeah, man, my husband and I were just talking about it. That's crazy. Or, I do actually, how much could you pay for it? They might ask you how much they could pay, but then when you say, well, it depends on the condition. Can you tell me about the house? They're going to go, yeah, I'd be happy to. So the house is like this and this and this, and they're going to go into detail for you so you can make them an offer, right? They're not going to be afraid of questions. Tire kickers don't want to engage. I'm going to give you a quick gold nugget that is worthy of you hitting that subscribe button right now, okay? Here's the gold nugget. When it comes to negotiations, when it comes to talking to a seller, every question they ask you is them rejecting you. Every time someone asks you a question, they're taking a step back, right? And also, whoever is asking the questions is in control of the conversation. If you're constantly trying to explain yourself, if they're asking you questions and you just keep answering and answering and answering, they're qualifying you. They're going to hang up and you're going to have no idea if they do want to sell. You have to stay in control of the conversation by asking intelligent questions. Let me give you an example. Let's say I call and say, hey, Bob, or hey, I'm not sure if I have the right number. I'm trying to find the owner of XYZ address. And they go, yeah, that's me. What's this about? You say, hey, yeah, I'm just curious if you thought of selling or if you'd consider an offer. And if he says, yeah, who is this again? Just be like, my name's Zack. My name's Zack Boothe. I'm a local investor. If that's all I said, he would then ask me another question, and another question, and another question. And it's the analogy of you chase a dog, it'll run from you. If you run from a dog, it'll chase you. I'm not calling your sellers dogs, but they're gonna feel like you're selling them and you're pitching, and they're gonna wanna run. You're never gonna close deals because all you're doing is selling. You don't wanna sell, you wanna qualify sellers, right? So when someone says, yeah, what's your name? It's like, yeah, my name's Zack. I'm a local real estate investor. Do you have any interest in selling that property, Mr. Seller? Right, did you notice how I answered his question and immediately fired back with the question? Because I want to take control of that conversation by answering and then asking a question, right? The person asking the questions is in charge of the conversation, and you are never going to do deals unless you're in charge of the conversation. All right, let's say you're on the dialer and you say, hey, do you want to sell your house or would you consider an offer? And they're like, yeah, matter of fact, I would. You're going to probably go, what do I say? Because you've probably heard so many no's that it's a surprise and a shock. I promise and guarantee you it exists. It's gonna happen if you do the work. But let's make sure that we capitalize on those moments because there's tens of thousands of dollars on the line when you get that yes. Most people, when they first start, they think that when they get that yes, what's most important is to figure out how much they want for the house. That is the least important thing, okay? I want that to be the last thing you worry about, the price. The number one thing that you need to worry about is their why, the situation. Why are they selling? The time frame. What's going on in their lives? The why, the situation. That's what you need to uncover. The why. Write that down. Put it in your mirror. put it in your car. Remember that we're trying to help people and solve people's problems. We have to find out what those problems are, or you're never going to do deals. So one of my favorite ways to get to the why is once I hear they say, yes, I would like to sell, I'd be like, great, I'd love to get you an offer. The only information I have is what I can see online. If you're on mojosells.com and have uploaded everything in there, you'll be able to click on the Zillow link and it's gonna pull up the house that you're calling on. You're gonna be able to say, I see that it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, is that correct? Yes, it is. Okay, well, fantastic. What's the condition of the house? And they're gonna tell you all about the house and the condition, and it's a bad condition. I haven't seen it in 10 years. Oh, you haven't seen it in 10 years? Is it a house you inherited or is it a rental? Try and figure out the situation. Oh, it's a rental. Awesome. Well, how long have you been wanting to sell it? Oh, we just started talking about it a month ago. Man, you had it for 10 years as a rental. Why didn't you just keep it as a rental? That's great location, great property. You start to disqualify yourself as the buyer because if you say, well, why don't you just keep it? They're going to tell you why they want to sell it, right? You're going to get to the why. Well, I want to sell it because X, Y, Z. Or let's say if it's their family home, they're living there. You say, man, you've been there for 10 years. You probably have so many memories there. Even though it's a little beat up, why don't you guys just fix it up? Sounds like it's a great home. Well, my husband's got a different job. We have time. We got to move. Oh, so you got a job. How soon do you guys need to sell this thing? You figure out there's a time situation. They don't want to list it the traditional route because of the time frame, right? Like you're going to get to understand what's going on. And I always start with the condition of the house and what the house is, what it's being used for. And then I talk about the other options they have and why don't they just do that, right? And you can see that in day 4 of the challenge, of the 40-day challenge, where I say, hey, it sounds like it's in really good shape, a great rental, Jerry. Why don't you just list it with a real estate agent and squeeze as much money out of it as possible? He said, I don't care. He wanted it done quickly. I found out he was dying of cancer and that was the last of his worries. He had a bunch of investment properties and those 3 were his headaches and he didn't want his lovely wife to deal with those when he passed away. That was what was important to him. The money was not important to him. The convenience factor was important to him. So you really have to be in control of the conversations, ask the questions, understand what's going on, and making sure what you do as an investor that can give quick cash offers is what's in the best interest of that seller. Once you understand that they do want to sell to an investor, they want speed and convenience, there's a few things that I look for and try and understand before I schedule the appointment. I want to make sure all decision makers are going to be there when we set the appointment. Last and actually least important is what they'd like to get for the house. Because if they want speed and convenience, I can negotiate and say, hey, listen, you could probably make more. That does make sense, but you'd have to fix it up and list it on the general marketplace, right? But for speed and convenience, I need to make a profit, so my price range needs to be down here. You can get people down hundreds of thousands of dollars over the price they tell you because you explain the options that they have. And if they want to work with an investor, they understand that they have to go with what the option is, right? And what the price range is for that option. The price really is not that important. Once you've identified, these are the people that really want to work with an investor. To keep things simple for you, to summarize all of this, your script should not change if a family member calls you and says, hey, would you like to buy my house? Versus you talking to a complete stranger, right? I had a cousin, I'm gonna give you an example. I had a cousin that lived in a different part of Utah and he called me and said, Zach, I'd love for you to buy my house, bro. I know you're buying houses. And I said, yeah, I'd be happy to buy your house, brother, but you could probably make more money if you fixed it up and got it ready to list, on the general multiple listing services with like a real estate agent or just listing it yourself. And he said, yeah, no, I understand that. And I said, okay, well, if I bought it, I need to make money. I mean, are you okay with that? Right? And he said, yeah, I am. The reason, Zach, and he already trusted me, so he quickly just told me why he wanted speed and convenience over price. He said, the reason for that is the semester for my kids is starting shortly. I got a job up north. I'm going to be moving up closer to you, and I need to have this thing gone, and I need some down payment money for my new rental. I've already got a rental lined up. I want to get moved fast before the kids start school. I just want to be done, dude. I don't even care. It's if you can pay me this much, I'm okay with it. And it was a price that actually made sense. And so you got to realize that people trade convenience for price all the time. And if your script needs to change because it's a family member, then you're not doing it with high integrity. You're not being honest, right? You're not helping and serving people. You can make a large amount of money and serve people and help people. So remember, if your script changes because it's a family member, you're doing it all wrong. Okay, I want that to be very clear. Okay, I'm gonna play a little clip of the day 4 of the 40-day challenge where I got a hold of Jerry. I called Jerry, I went through this script. I was completely transparent. I told him he could make more money if he didn't work with me. He said he didn't care. I ended up getting 3 contracts. One of those contracts I assigned, sold the contract for $10,000. The other 2 I've kept as rentals, and I'm selling them to the tenants, and I'm gonna make well over 100 grand on those 2 properties within 2 years, right? So I'm actually cashing out on one of them right now. It's been about 10 months since this challenge, and I'm cashing out on one of them and making almost $60,000 on the one. Plus I made a bunch of rent money in the meantime. So anyways, I'm gonna play that clip and you can hear that conversation and actually see what I just taught you in action.
And I was just wondering if you guys have thought of selling or if you'd consider an offer on it.
Yeah, that is not our property. You got a different somehow.
Oh, okay.
Jerry Tidwell owns a property in Wood Lane, but it's not for sale.
Okay. Is the house number 915? Or is this, or do I have the wrong info?
Well, what is that house number on Wood Lane? 915. Yeah, it could be, but anyway, it is not for sale.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. Have a wonderful day. Just real quick out of the blue, you wouldn't happen to have any other properties or know someone that would love to sell? I'm hoping to buy a property in the next few days.
Okay, I have got some property in Lake Wales that I will sell.
How much are you hoping to sell these for?
I will sell for $60,000 apiece.
60K
Each.
per house. Okay, and then what if I could pay cash, Jerry, and pay all closing costs, and have this thing done quickly with the tenants in place? Would you consider a lower price, especially if I bought both of them and had them both done quickly?
Yeah, I will do it for 55.
50? You wouldn't go down to 100 for the package, would you?
No, I wouldn't. I just could not.
You couldn't? Okay. Each.
Yeah, I mean, 60 is even cheap.
I would like to meet with you and see if we can put together some type of agreement. Would you like me to, obviously I'll need to do an inspection on the property, but I'd like to put together some kind of agreement. Could I come out and meet with you today or tomorrow?
Well, I tell you what, how about if you look at the property on the internet, look at the property if it looks good, and then if you like it, I'll meet you and we'll do whatever. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a look at them. I'll call you back here shortly. I'm gonna call you, I'm on my office phone. I'm gonna be stepping away from my office phone though. I'll call you on my cell phone. It's an 801 area code, so you know. But I'll be calling you here in the next 30, 40 minutes or so. I'm gonna do some research on these and I'll get back to you, okay?
Okay, all right.
All right, hey, thank you.
I certainly appreciate your interest in. Thank you. We may do some business here.
Yeah, I hope so. That would be fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Dude, the dialer is on fire today. It's on fire. Oh my gosh.
The first time you cold call, it may be terrifying, right? The first no you get and the first mean person, you might cry. That's okay, right? The first yes you get, you might be completely flustered and sound extremely silly. That's okay. I want you to think about something that you're good at. Golf, dance, music, something that you're good at. Think about it right now. Probably weren't good when you first started. What made you good is action steps, implementation, and practicing, and a mentor to guide you. Listen, you are the hero of your own story, and I want to be the guide to that story. I want to empower you. I want to give you the action steps. I want to be there for you, and I want to help speed up your process of becoming successful at becoming a real estate investor and doing wholesale deals and making an absolute fortune in this business. I was a broke window and I had a mentor and a guide that helped me. It changed my life, and I'm paying it forward and coaching others as well. If you are curious about my program, if you want help from me in implementing a system that you can find deeply discounted properties and make an absolute fortune, I'd love to talk to you about it. Go to dfdmastery.com/start now. It'll be linked in the show notes below. But you'll jump on a call with us. We'll talk about what's in the program, the outline, how we can help you, and how my coaching works, and how you'll have direct access. You'll have my personal cell phone to help you through your deals. Right? If you're curious about that, book a call. We can talk to you and help you get started and really speed up the process. If you want to see me get 7 total contracts in just 40 days, starting from scratch with only $1,000 to invest, you definitely need to check out the 40 grand in 40 day challenge. I'm going to link it right here. You can click on it and watch it. If you guys want to see how to build a list to start cold calling, we did a video recently on how to build a driving for dollars list, how to use Deal Machine. Click on the link right here, right? If you guys want to get started. Please do so. Take action. Don't just learn. Implement as you go. Thank you so much for joining me and sticking with me throughout this whole video. I appreciate each of you. God bless you, your families, and your journey. We'll see you in the next video.